Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'll be showing you how to create a 3D navigation drawer using Adobe XD. So look at what happens when I actually click on this navigation menu. You can actually see it actually just loads in 3D animation. Then when I click on this, it actually takes me back to the main menu. So I'll be showing you how to create this using Adobe XD. So sit down, get a cup of coffee, and then let's start something new. Alright, let's get into today's video. Alright, so to speed up everything, I've already created for us a splash screen, as you can see here. So this splash screen has the first page that a user sees when the phone app actually opens, doctor appointment and that. So we are gonna now work on the dashboard or sidebar design. But before we do that, we're gonna first create two rectangles. So first of all, when you select this this phone screen here, the splash screen, you can actually see that the dimensions are for an iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is a width of 428 and height of 926. So we're going to draw rectangles of the same dimensions. So we're going to make sure the height is 926, then that the width is 428. Okay, so this is going to be the first rectangle right here. So let's just put it there. Then we're going to duplicate this rectangle, and then we're going to have two of them. Sorry, just make sure to hold Alt on your keyboard so it actually duplicates properly. Then this one, we're gonna give it a different color. So this is gonna be the background that is gonna be showing. Then we're gonna give this a linear gradient. So we're gonna change the colors. We're gonna have a dark shade of blue right at the bottom. Then right at the top, we're gonna have a light shade of blue, as you can see. Okay, that's actually looking good, but let's just put this to an angle. Right, that's much better. So it's gonna be the acting background. Then we're gonna place these right on top. We're gonna place them into this iPhone frame. So just make sure that they actually fit perfectly. But before we do that, let's actually rename this. We're gonna call this white rectangle. We're gonna call this blue rectangle. I spelled that wrongly. Right, just correcting that spelling. Okay, that's much better. Then we're gonna place these rectangles right onto the frame. Then we're gonna also place this right onto the frame. Right, so when you go into the frame and we open it up, you can actually see that these two are actually at the top, but we're gonna send them to back. Okay, so we're going to have to manually do that. So just gonna drag them right to the bottom so that actually everything appears right on top of it. So what we want to make sure is we have, so we're going to make sure the blue rectangle is the one that is actually right behind everything. Okay, so we're going to have that white rectangle being right on top of the blue one. So the blue rectangle is going to be the very last item. Okay, so we're going to duplicate this. We're going to click Ctrl D on this entire, but before we do that, we're gonna do some grouping. Let's do some grouping. So we're gonna select, just click Ctrl A, just make sure to select everything. Now there are some things we're gonna unselect, and we're gonna unselect the Wi-Fi icon. We're gonna unselect the Wi-Fi icon, the signal icon, and the battery icon, and then we want to unselect the time because those ones should not be affected. And then we're going to unselect the blue rectangle. So we're going to group all these. So we're going to call these items. Okay, so items is going to be right below, right there. Okay, right, so we can actually duplicate this screen by clicking Ctrl D. All right, then inside this other second screen, we're gonna do some rotation. We're gonna do some 3D rotation to the items. So we're gonna make sure 3D transform is set on by clicking on this. This actually makes sure 3D rotation is actually set on. That's when you can actually see this axis right here. Then I'm gonna type in the value -30. Okay, and as you can see, it's actually working. Then we're actually just gonna drag this a little bit towards the right. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna change the colors of some of these items. So we're gonna change this to white. Then the battery and the other icons can actually remain in black color. Okay, now just for design purposes, we can actually change the white rectangles boundaries. We can actually just give it a border radius of, let's try 30. Okay, so that we actually have that cool smooth curvature. Okay, there we go. Now we just want to make sure it actually has no border, so it's actually just something neat. Let's also make sure the blue rectangle also has no border. So that's just for neatness. There should actually be no borders. Okay, let's just make sure there's actually no borders involved, so they're actually just clean. All right, there we go. Actually, you know what, when we actually have this menu, we can actually hide these. You know what, let's actually hide these. They don't need to be visible because it doesn't actually look neat on my design, so they'll actually just be invisible, as you can see there. Then next we want to create some design right on this side. So just make sure the item is selected. Let's push it a little bit more by clicking on the right direction arrow on our keyboard. So just want to create some design right here. So gonna draw an ellipse. Okay, let's just position this right there, and then we're gonna type in some text. Now this could be the name of the client that is actually logging in. Let's imagine the client's name is Connor Maxwell. Okay, so we can actually just scale this a little bit. Let's give it a bigger font size. Let's try 25. Okay, 25 looks much better, but I think that's too much. I've set it to pop ins. Let's actually just reduce it to 20. Okay, 20 is much better. Then we're going to add some icons. One of the icons we're going to add is an icon for home. So just click on that. They're going to add an icon for profile. Let's add one for settings. Let's add that one. Then we're going to add one for let's go with details. Details actually won't work. You know what, let's add one for messages. Yeah, actually this would do. Right, so I'm actually gonna position these right below here. Right, so just make sure that everything is actually spaced by 27. As you can see, that's the spacing that we're actually gonna be using. Then we're just gonna make sure everything is selected. I do select all by actually holding shift. So it's actually zoom in, select that, make sure you hold shift on your keyboard. Then let's give everything a white. Yeah, why not? Let's duplicate this text by holding alt. Then we're going to change this text to home. Okay, now we just are going to change this from semi-bold. I'm using the font type Poppins to regular. Then we're just going to reduce the size a little bit to 15. Okay, and we can actually duplicate that. Make sure the actual is spaced by 27. That's what we are going for. All right, so that's text is home, and this is gonna be profile. Then this text can be settings, and this can be messages. Okay, now let's actually just reduce this size a little bit. Hold shift. This is going to have a generated image, so we're going to go to our plugins. So there's a plugin we actually have, it's called UI faces. So it's going to generate for us a random UI face. Let's just make sure it just generates a random photo, then just select apply randomly, and then let's just allow it to work. It will just generate a random face for us. Okay, and there we go. So it's actually working. It actually looks neat. Alright, so now we want to make sure when a user clicks on this menu icon here, let's just make sure this is open. Let's go back to our artboards. So want to make sure this is open. So where is that menu icon? So this is the menu icon right here. When a user clicks on that, let's go to prototype mode. When a user taps on that, it's gonna direct them to this other page. Make sure it's set to auto animation, then let that happen in 1 second in auto animate. Okay, and then when a user is on this other page right here, when a user is on this other page right here, want to make sure that as long as they click on anything among the items list, anything within here, that it will actually direct them back to the former page. Set that on auto animate 1 second. Okay, now let's test that. So this is the prototype loaded. So when I click on this menu, you can actually see it turns into a hand icon and see what happens. Wow, so it actually just navigates smoothly. So when a user clicks anywhere within the items list, it actually just goes back. So that's how to create a 3D navigation drawer in Adobe XD. I hope you love this video. If it really helped you, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, and then feel free to tell me below in the comments if it really helped you. Then if you're new to this channel, I encourage you to join the community by subscribing. Then make sure to hit the notification bell so that you get updated every single time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.